Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about fruit and how important it is to have fruit in your diet for longevity. So if you're new here, I follow Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen and 21 Tweaks recommendations for my lifestyle because I want to live to 102. So I have a video all about that and about wanting to live to 102, so you can go watch that. So I really am focused on longevity and what I need to eat and do to live a long, healthy life to 102. So my name's Kimberly. Welcome to my channel. I live in the middle of nowhere, Arizona. So I'm going to come to you from that perspective. I'm from New England originally. Anyway, I just want to kind of share my journey with you to a healthy 102 and what I do to stay healthy. And predominantly what that is what I eat. So like I said, I follow Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen and 21 Tweaks. So today we're going to talk about fruit and how important it is to have fruit in your diet. So Dr. Greger recommends that you eat fruit every single day. And actually, this is in addition to the half cup of berries that you would eat. So you're going to eat 3 servings of fruit. And the size of that fruit is going to be a medium-sized piece of fruit, or 1 cup of cut up fruit, or 1/4 of a cup of dried fruit. And we're going to talk about a little bit about dried fruit here. But he does not recommend that you eat a lot of dried fruit. So you want to keep your fruit mostly whole food fruit. So like the whole fruit, like a whole banana or an apple or an orange. Now there is a place for dried fruit. We're going to talk about dried fruit here in a minute. But you want to be eating whole fruit and not the juice. And we're going to talk about juice as well. So, oh my goodness, fruit is just packed full of powerful things to help you stay young and healthy. So there's a lot of studies in Dr. Greger's books and on nutritionfacts.org. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those studies in my own words and kind of give you what I think about those studies and how I think it benefits us to be eating more fruit in our diet. And so there's some really interesting studies that have to do with fruit and how it can help you stay young and healthy. So one of the things that they did a study on was women in their 70s and carotenoids. And carotenoids are something that's in foods that have colors. Like that's why if you eat a lot of carrots, you turn orange because of the carotenoids. So they found that women who had a lot of carotenoids in their system lived 5 years longer than those who didn't, who had very low amounts of carotenoids in their system. So definitely eating colorful fruits and vegetables will help you live a longer life. They prove that in that study. Now, another study that they did about longevity, which I think this is really interesting. So they took people that ate 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that was like the baseline. So that's your 0, right? Then they studied people that ate 4 servings or less, and that gave you 1 month less in lifespan. 3 servings a day, 3 months less in lifespan. 2 servings, 7 months shorter. 1 serving, a year and a half. A half serving, 2 years. 0 servings of fruits and vegetables, 3 years. So I guess we better be eating our fruits and vegetables, because look how important it is that it's cutting your lifespan off by not eating them. I just think that that's an interesting study. I'll have it linked in the video below, the nutritionfacts.org video that came from. I think that is just unbelievable. So even if you don't care about your weight, just that in and of itself should get you eating more fruits and vegetables. So weight management. So fruit has a lot to do with weight management. And I know that it's popular out there to say that fruit is not good for your weight and it has sugar in it. But the research doesn't prove that at all. The research actually proves that eating fruit can help you with your weight. So, and one of the things that you want to think about, I think one of the things that we want to think about is, what did humans eat before we had McDonald's and before we had grocery stores and before we knew how to hunt and before all these things? What we ate was leaves, roots, fruits, nuts. We ate those kind of things. So those are the things that I think we're probably meant to eat predominantly. And I'm not saying don't go to McDonald's or don't have a treat every once in a while. Like, I'm definitely not saying that. But I am saying that our predominant part of our diet should be plant-based, because that's what we were eating. So an increase in your consumption of dietary fiber from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes is a critical step in your weight management. So fiber from whole foods, plant-based. So it's been found through studies that people who eat fresh fruit at a meal tend to eat less at their next meals as they go forward. So if you want to control your hunger at your next meal, you could eat fruit at the meal that you're eating now so that you eat less as you go forward throughout the day. And I'm talking about starving yourself. I'm just talking about not feeling as hungry. So another interesting study where another interesting study, people were put on two different diets. One was a low sugar diet with no fruit, and the other diet was a low sugar diet with fruit. What's interesting about this is the people that had the fruit on their low sugar diet lost 50% more weight than the other group that didn't have the fruit. So it's interesting. So one of the things that Dr. Greger says, and I'm going to say multiple times in this video, is it's not what you eat, it's what you absorb. It's not what you eat, it's what you absorb. And fruit has a property that when it's going through your digestive system, you don't digest the whole entire thing and all of the starch and sugar in it. So another interesting thing is that you could fill yourself to the brim with fresh fruit 3 times a day and still lose weight, since mostly fruit is air and water. For example, an apple is 85% water and 20% air by volume. So basically, when you're eating fruit, you're eating air and you're eating water. And so that you can eat more of it because of that. In another study, people were told to reduce their fat intake to lose weight. Another group was told to eat more vegetables and fruit. What happened, though, was the people that did a combination of both, who ate less fat and ate more fruits and vegetables, lost the most weight. So one of the things that you can do in your baking, if you want to cut your fat down, is add applesauce instead of oil. And I'm not talking about eating SnackWells. I'm talking about whole food, plant-based eating. So you would put, instead of oil, you would put in applesauce, and then that would cut the fat intake down, and it would raise your fruit level so that you're getting that beneficial fiber. People who eat the most fruits and vegetables seem to have a 17% lower odds of gaining weight and having abdominal obesity. That visceral fat, that's really not good for you. You know how they say if women who have fat on their hips and thighs, like I do, that's the better kind of fat to have for your health because it doesn't crowd your organs out. So also, consumption of both fruits and veggies has also been associated with weight loss over time. So if you eat apples and pears every day instead of the same calories in cookies, you will most likely lose weight. Remember, it's not what you eat, it's what you digest. It's not what you eat, it's what you digest. So in the cookie, you're digesting a bunch of stuff because it doesn't have much fiber. But if you're eating apples and pears, you're not digesting as much because you're eating the whole fruit with the fiber, and it has that resistant starch that goes through your intestine, or goes through your digestive system. So what's interesting, I thought this was interesting. So watermelon was found to reduce muscle soreness after intense workouts without gut leakiness that occurs within hours of taking an anti-inflammatory drug like ibuprofen. So we talked about tart cherry juice. Also, watermelon can help with your sore muscles as well. And who doesn't like watermelon? So when you're eating whole food plants like fruits, you are telling your gut flora to be fruitful and multiply. Eating produce, what it does is it multiplies eating produce multiplies your good gut bacteria. And what that does is it crowds out the bad gut bacteria, which is what you want. So you want really good gut bacteria, and you want to get rid of that bad bacteria out of your gut. So eating more fruits and vegetables can reduce your risk of the 3 leading causes of death in America, which is heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure. Now, this is all according to Dr. Greger, so go get his book, How Not to Diet and How Not to Die. This is from both of these books. So eating whole fruits may lower your risk of type 2 diabetes. By eating fruits and vegetables, you might think that you would gain weight because of the extra calories, but that's not the case. Research has found that you end up eating less calories. You end up getting less calories in your system. Remember, it's not about what you're eating, it's about what you're digesting. Remember that the polyphenols block the sugars from going into your intestine and slowing the absorption into your digestive system. So adding fruit to a meal can actually blunt the insulin spike from the high glycemic foods that you might be eating, like potato chips. I wouldn't recommend eating potato chips, but that's an example. So in nature, fructose comes packaged with fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that appear to nullify the adverse effects of the fructose. How can we eat more fruit? Oh my goodness, in How Not to Diet, there's some really interesting studies about how you can eat more fruit, how you can get more fruit into your body, which is like the whole point. So they had a couple studies in the book, one where they offered people free fruit and people just ate 5 times much more than they had when it wasn't free. How amazing is that? What if we offered free fruit to people and vegetables to people? Instead of subsidizing some of these other things that we'd subsidize, we could subsidize fruit and vegetables. People would eat 5 times, people could potentially eat 5 times more if we did that. So, and that helps you reach your recommended daily dose of fruits and vegetables. So another study, they had gift cards at a grocery store. So they gave 2 groups of gift cards. One, you could buy anything you wanted. It had $45 on it. Another gift card, you could only buy fruits and vegetables with the $45 gift card. What's really interesting is the people that could buy anything that they wanted gained weight in the study. The people that could only buy fruits and vegetables with that $45 gift card lost 10 pounds. What's another interesting thing is, think about out of sight of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. So if you keep a fresh fruit bowl on your kitchen counter, people end up eating more fruit and vegetables throughout the day if they have that on their counter. So they also researchers found that if you have different colors in your fruit bowl or in your vegetable platter, you'll eat more. People like different colors. Probably one of the reasons why Skittles are all different colors or Starbursts are all different colors, because it attracts our eye to it. So another thing, if you are used to having a cookie every time you see a cookie jar, it might be better to put a fruit platter there and eat a fruit every time you see the fruit platter. You would be better off because fruit is better for you. Fruit is beneficial in any amount, but you must eat the whole fruit to have these benefits. The juice has the opposite effect. You cannot drink the fruit juice. You have to eat the whole fruit. And you can eat probably as much fruit as you want. Remember I said in my last video, like, you could eat 44 stomachfuls of fruit in a day. Like, that's nuts. That's a lot of fruit. So I don't think you could probably overeat fruit, maybe dates, but you don't want to be eating dates because they're dried. So that's some interesting studies. So there's also a study about eating dried apple slices and how people were losing weight eating dried apple slices. So, just dehydrated apple slices with nothing on them, maybe a little bit of lemon juice. I thought that was really interesting too, because it's a dried fruit and has a more concentrated calories in it, but people were still losing weight eating dried fruit. So we talked about dried fruit in the last video on berries. You could also eat dried apple slices. You just dehydrate them in your oven, or if you have a dehydrator, you can dehydrate them in your dehydrator. So that's fruit. So the moral of the story is, let's eat more fruit so that we can get these benefits from it, so that we can live a longer, healthier life. I don't think that it could hurt you to eat fruit. You may make sure that you're washing your fruit though, of course, right? And Dr. Greger has a video on what's the best way to wash your fruit, and believe it or not, it's just using water. And I will link that in the link below, but of course bananas, I don't know if it really matters, since most people are not eating the peel. But those fruits that are on the top 10 dirtiest things, I would try to get organic if you can. If not, wash them. It's probably better than eating a cookie in the long run. Anyway, so that's my video on fruits. I hope that inspires you to eat more fruit in your diet, get more fruit in your diet. I definitely get my 4 servings a day of fruit, my half cup of berries, and then my 3 servings of fruit throughout the day. And I try to eat different fruits. So like I eat oranges, I eat apples, and I eat bananas on most days. I'm not like super like into different varieties of fruit, but you could eat whatever fruits you like. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, and I hope you got something out of this. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. Of course, I'm going to go through the Daily Dozen and the 21 Tweaks, and I just hope that you're enjoying these videos, and I would love to hear your comments below. Thanks.